Hello, Aries. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Welcome to your February 2026 forecast. I hope everybody is doing great. I'd always like to begin with some channeled messages, and today is no exception. There were a few things that came through loud and clear in dreams. One of them was the importance of balance and accounting. So in particular, I was shown like a ledger or some receipts. So some of you might be taking a look at savings, making sure that you have enough maybe for buying a house or going to college or paying down bills or debts. And it seemed like the right thing to be doing right now, just so that you would have a clear idea of what you needed to focus on, how much you needed, and maybe there's some areas in your life where you're not basically getting what you're investing. We can also abstract this a little bit, take it away from finances, and just look at the accounting of like relationships. Are there people in your life where you spend a lot of time and energy, but they're not doing the same? There's no reciprocity. In this case, again, some rebalancing when it comes to relationships might be important. The next thing that I was shown was like an expiration date. And this is kind of interesting because it could represent for some of you an end point in something that you've been working or focusing on in your life. And this could be good because I see ends as a doorway to beginnings. So graduation, retirement, selling something. We talked about like investing. So maybe there's something transactional, or again, just sort of you're at that point where it's naturally closing, a chapter's closing. So take a look at these sorts of things in your life too and say, have I done all that I needed to in this area? If so, what's next? So we have a little bit of research and reflection kicking off the month of February so that hopefully you can do more with your time and energy, and maybe you can open up a new chapter, a new door of opportunity, because you realize enough with this, okay? So as we pull the cards, I'll look for things like the Death card, the Four of Swords, anything that might represent a very clear end or beginning. Of course, aces as well. So with that being said, let's shuffle the cards and begin. All right, please take a moment and imagine that you are standing under the sun. Close your eyes, feel that connection to source, and create a circle of light around your body. Within this circle, know that you are protected. And in this moment, you can invite in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. Interesting. All right, we have two different catalyst cards, so let's begin with those. Both of the cards were reversed. The tiger came through first, so let's talk about this. So tiger, it represents speed and grace, and with the card in reverse, it's saying, don't rush. Pick your moment wisely. When you do that, you're going to be able to land on your feet. You can make more of an impact, and this is more important than getting there first. I also look at all the different sort of stripes on the tiger, and this is a moment to embrace the things that set you apart, rather than trying to sort of be homogeneous, blend in, etc. There are things about the way that you think, as far as like your intuition, your creativity. Those unique things are actually what's needed right now, so find your moment to express your thoughts, stand up for what matters most. And I love the eye contact that I'm seeing here. For those of you that have a difficult time looking, face to face, eye to eye with somebody, practice that a little bit. One thing that you can do is look in one eye so that you're not fixated so much on their face, and then You can focus more on your thoughts. It gives you somewhere to look. So you can try something like that, but eye contact is going to be important. We have a butterfly. I actually don't mind that the card is reversed, because if you look at a butterfly, it can basically navigate upside down, right side up, etc. There's a little bit of hanged man energy with the butterfly, because the phase that precedes this is the chrysalis, and it comes out of that and then it spreads its wings. So I actually feel like many of you have just gotten through a period where there might have been a little bit of a plateau, a delay. Maybe you felt like you were stuck a little bit, but lo and behold, this is what awaits: a moment to spread your wings and really lean into doing something different than before. This is not a rinse and repeat chapter for you. This is a time to innovate, to express yourselves, to step into the new, into the unknown, and to set flight to your ideas. So know when to pick your moment and when to kind of have that eye contact. And then it feels like this month there's going to be 1 or 2 opportunities for you to spread your wings. So why don't we continue and look at the cards and see how this is going to shape up for you. So there was here in the near future a change for the better that's going to help you manage your time and energy. So we'll look at that. But why don't we begin with your centermost card, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Well, the good news is the Queen of Pentacles is amazing. This card comes through as a reminder of your capacity to create amazing things. In the upright position, imagine someone has a green thumb. Everything they touch grows, flourishes, etc. When the card is reversed, however, it can represent this feeling of depletion. So I'm going to pull the traditional card here just for a moment, then we'll go back to this. So if we look at this one, we can see her putting her time and energy into that one coin. Sometimes you'll even see someone on here that looks pregnant, because a lot of times your creative energy is used in a project, an activity, or as a support to others. This can be a boss, or a mentor, or a parent, and they're constantly helping, supporting, and lifting up everybody around them. If you fall under any of these categories, or if you've just been doing a lot but not giving yourself the time and energy that you deserve to recuperate, this is a reset button. And it's saying, why don't you take 5 and focus on whatever it is that you need? Some time to rest, some time for enrichment. If there's an activity that you'd like to do just for you, this is the time to do that. For those of you that tend to be slightly on the perfectionist side, where it has to be perfect always, this is just saying, let it go. It already is better than you anticipate. The little bunny rabbit here in the corner shows that once you release the need to control or sort of like just even fixate on something, you're going to start to feel movement. And change and growth and abundance is already knocking at your door if you just allow yourself to take a step back and open it up. Okay, so that's part of what I'm getting here with this. If we look at the version that was in this deck here, we still have little bunny rabbits in the corner. So speed and abundance is still there. Slow down in this moment and just take care of yourself. Everything will be fine. I feel like some of you are just putting too much focus on the perfectionist tendencies, or you're putting too much energy into things that either don't matter or don't return on your energy. So it's time to take care of yourself. Before I move on to the card that's crossing it, I got one more download, and basically some of you are deciding to change your focus. This could be a change in career, because we have the Tower here. This could be just a change in your time and energy management. So it's okay to change your mind. In fact, it looks like this is the right time to do so. Here we have Temperance. I love that there's this beautiful like protection umbrella parasol above her saying you are protected, connected. All you have to do is basically tune in. And of course, don't do anything immediately, overnight. Sleep on a major decision. Make sure that you're making it from a place of neutrality without an emotional high or an emotional low. If you haven't taken time to meditate, now is the time to do exactly that. Taking a step back, I think, could be one of the best ways that you can get out of that feeling of things being a little overwhelming or putting too much weight into the money, into the external expectations, etc. Let's take a look at your deep past here. We have Page of Cups energy in the reverse position. For some of you, you're just letting go of some of the heavy emotions that we just talked about. You might also be looking at a relationship and thinking, this is more than I signed up for or more than I need right now. Or making sure that you're holding space to receive just as much as you're giving. So again, we're leaning into the reciprocity. Emotional sensitivity has been heightened over the past month or so. So as you enter into this period of time, make sure that you're giving yourself good outlets, creative outlets, exercise, therapy, anything that you need to basically talk, release, and open yourself up so that you can invite in new, better, and more equal opportunities when it comes to love and friendship and creative things as well. All right, before we move on, let's give Apollo a little pat on the head. Who's a good boy? You are. Yes, you are. All right. Just had to say hi to my little friend there. All right, so in the recent past here, we have the Emperor in the reverse position. Finding your voice, reclamation of power, separating yourself from people in your life that tend to have an overbearing influence on you. All of these things are comprised within this card. Also, never underestimating your ability to make an impact in a situation. Sometimes people in our lives tell us to blend in, to quiet down, to be a part of the team. And again, all of that blending in energy sometimes dilutes the special sauce that makes you you. So don't lose track of who you are, what your vision is. All of that matters. There could also be an authority figure in your life that's just kind of hovering in your energy, second guessing you, checking in when they don't need to. Create better boundaries in this situation, hold your ground, and save your time, your energy, and your breath for things that matter more, okay? So reclamation of power. Four of Pentacles in the crowning position, showing that for many of you, something just isn't providing what it needs to. Look at the little padlocks there on this card. Sometimes we kind of like settle for a situation because it's convenient, it's expected, it's within reach, but it doesn't actually deliver. And that's why the Queen of Pentacles was reversed. It doesn't deliver the support, the time, or the sort of sustenance that we need to thrive. It's that gate that we see here, basically. This is a time to open yourself up. Explore opportunities, whether it's relationship, job, creativity, etc., that open your heart. Never underestimate your value. Never underestimate your worth. As we take a look at the near future, we see a change for the better. So sometimes the Tower can be good. However, even as we see in this illustration, it can be difficult to embrace the necessary change in front of you. So if you've been thinking for a long time about taking a leap, about making a change, it really feels like it's imminent. Like this is the month where you either flick the switch and go, or you are making the decision in your mind and it's going to happen shortly thereafter. When the Tower happens, there is also this sort of realization that you can't stop the wheels of change, of progress, of motion. And why not be an agent of change? Why not embrace or lean into it? Because what we see here is, in the form of the Seven of Pentacles, more. Basically, something better, something more, and something that is more fulfilling in the long run. The Seven of Pentacles comes through when you're ready to heal. It comes through as a symbol or a totem of recovery. But also within this is the understanding that it takes time. So we see the rake there at the bottom of this tree. This person has been putting in the time and the energy to nurture this tree, to make sure that the ground is solid, that it's planted on, and it's going to pay off in the long run. So the immediate change could be rather quick. Like, okay, I'm going to step out or into something new. But then the progress and the sort of accolades that happen after that could take a little bit of time. So don't rush that part of it. Give yourself time to adjust to a change, for basically the dust to settle. And then give yourself at least a couple of months, like 6 or 7 weeks, for the ability to sort of see like, oh, I made a good decision. This is going to be all right. Seven of Pentacles, just the general card, also comes through as a reminder not to overextend yourself. So I talked about accounting and balancing, and balances in general. So we can read this literally. If there are things in your life where it's not worth the cost, this is a time to release those sorts of things. If there's opportunities to work with greater precision or with greater sort of like, there's a better word here, efficiency, then this is the time to lean into that as well. Okay? So healing and growth take time. Don't rush yourself. And when a change happens, give yourself a moment for the dust to settle. Don't panic if the first day you're still feeling a little bit uncertain or uncomfortable, it takes time. We have some exciting synchronicities coming through here. Remember I said I would tell you if I saw the Six of Swords or the Four of Swords. You got both of them. And right in between this and the environment, we have the Hanged Man, which connects to the butterfly as well. So let's talk about Four of Swords first. This card is encouraging you to slow down. If you look at this in the upright position, we can see those feathers representing guides, intuition, higher self, higher knowledge. When she's resting, she's able to access all of that. If you're constantly on the go, if you're constantly rinsing and repeating cycles in your life, then you never get a chance to sort of figure out, hey, wait a second, what am I doing? How am I tracking on all of this? So that's step number one. It's interesting too that we have these two cards basically in the spread in this order. So the Four of Swords reversed, then the Hanged Man. And it's saying, before you move forward, slow down and think. Think about where you're at, what you want, what you're trying to accomplish. Put to rest any of the sort of like frustrations or setbacks that might have been in the past and embrace what it is that really makes you get excited and passionate about waking up tomorrow. So this is a moment to really get tactical and decide, I want this, not this. And I'm going to put this to rest. It's the expiration date. This is one of the clearest cards for letting go. And then when we look at hope, fears, and opportunity, we have Six of Swords. So you rest long enough to figure out what you want. You think about it for a moment or two. And if we look at the traditional Hanged Man, we see this sort of halo, which is inspiration, which is intuition, which is insight. So buy yourself a little bit of time before making a change. And then the Six of Swords represents traveling with clear knowledge, vision, and also momentum. The Six of Swords was reversed. So for some of you, you might also be deciding, hey, I need to finish up this first. I need to wrap up some unfinished business. So let's review what we have here on the side. Don't simply rinse, repeat, and do the same thing. Four of Swords in reverse is saying slow down, hit the brakes, and look in all directions, which is why we have the Hanged Man here. And then move forward. This is putting it to rest. The Six of Swords is putting your foot on the gas pedal and saying, now let's move forward. Now, what I like about this too is with the reversal of it, it's letting go of that anchor that we see there. Let me find the traditional one while we're talking. A couple of notes with the Six of Swords. One of the main messages is, are you ready to sort of step into that driver's seat and create the momentum, create the movement? Do you know where you're going and why you're going there? A lot of times in our lives, once we become adults, we don't have those questions. We let other people set the tone or the itinerary. So in this one, you're the one rowing the boat. Figure out where you're going and what it is that you want to accomplish. And then every day, just take a little step in that direction. You don't have to get there immediately. It's a journey. And honestly, the older I get, the more I realize that it's the journey that matters, not as much the destination. I learn so much along the way, and that's where the development and the expansion really starts to set in. All right. All that being said, we have a beautiful Seven of Cups in the final outcome here, and this represents options. I like that she's really going into dreams and wishes in this card. Oftentimes, there's a feeling of ambiguity or confusion, but one of the things that this card can represent is dreaming, wishing, and asking yourself, what if? So here's your traditional card. He's opening up, there's blue sky all around him, and he's just letting the ideas come through without prejudice, without judgment. So as we go to the end of this month, some of you are starting to get inspired. Don't let anyone throw, rain on your parade. There's something in this Seven of Cups moment that could be exciting, inspiring, and could help you accomplish the wish that you want. Even though it would normally be the Nine of Cups, you got to find that cup from somewhere. So many of you just need to get back into what creates passion, curiosity, because this card is definitely connected to curiosity, and then follow through on that intuition and say, you know what? I think I want to do this. Why not? And that's what we're going to do as we go into the expanded forecast. Figure out how can you do it? When can you do it? Where can you do it? All right, we're going to expand this and look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. In the energy of health, we have my aura is magnetic to golden opportunities. In order to get that aura in that beautiful golden state, rest, meditation, recalibration. You have to take care of yourself. This is going to open you up. I look at all these rainbows. The rainbows typically appear on the 10 of Cups. So it's going to pull in better relationships. It's going to make you happier. So do whatever you need to feel on a mind, body, and spirit level that you are refreshed. Rest, exercise, therapy, creative activities, sports, whatever it is that kind of lights you up. This is focus number one. All right, let's take a larger sort of high view level of what's going on with your health. There could be some distractions around you. That the tower in the near future is saying that in order to get the rest, to be able to move in the right direction, to focus, some of you might need to change your environment. It could be work, school, the activities. It can even be sort of like cleaning the house. Normally, I would see this in the environment. We see a little bit of it here, the stagnation. So there might be some stuff in your house that doesn't need to be there, whether it's creating dust or mold, or it's just blocking the energy flow. So cleaning the house is one thing that I'm seeing. Cleaning your finances is another. I was looking at ledgers and balances, and so this is also a chance to look at things in your life and ask yourself, am I spending but not getting something back? Whether it's streaming services, clothes, eating out, it could be myriad of things. Figure out what it is for you where you don't really need that or it's a distraction. So cleaning things up a little bit here. Other things that are going on with health. The tower can be inflammation or a sudden recent change that's inexplicable, and therefore you would talk to a doctor about that. This sort of thing is getting you to pay attention to something, and you don't want to kind of push that under the rug. Quality and quantity of sleep are very important, so make sure you're getting both. This card can also indicate some weakness in the tendons or muscles surrounding the ankle and foot. Make sure that that part of your body isn't being sort of taken for granted as well. So a podiatrist could be very helpful. The Six of Swords in reverse can show that some of you just need a break. So this is working too hard and this is taking a break or a holiday. A change of environment can refresh your mind and brain and make you feel better. Difficulty in concentrating, which could be helped by simply moving where you work, study, or sleep into a different room or space. Environment is everything this month. Holding tension. The Four of Pentacles, if we look at the traditional card, which I have to the side, if I can grab it. All right, so the Four of Pentacles, sometimes we hold that stress in our shoulders. Sometimes we even have some difficulty in breathing because it can be a panic attack or it can just be stress. This is why it's really important to take care of yourself, get the necessary rest. And those are the main messages here. Other things here with Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Take care of yourself, nurture yourself. Some of you might also be trying to get pregnant. This actually is an auspicious card for pregnancy, but the most important thing, whether or not you're trying to get pregnant, is peace of mind and meditation. So make some time and some space in your life for that right now. Okay? And then the meditation also definitely helps with this because how you feel absolutely is something that you project out to others in body language, not just your auric field, but sort of the way you speak, the way you hold yourself, the nonverbal cues, and all of that can attract or push away things in your life, depending on where your energy is at the moment. All right, let's move on from health to wealth, which is your resources, your life purpose, and your career. So we have charity coming through here. It says, pillar of service, serve with a gracious heart, and know that God in the universe is serving you. So again, we're looking at wealth. Some of you are trying to make a difference in the world. See if you can give back or support underappreciated, marginalized, or simply sort of struggling groups around you. I love that. Whether this is through mentorship or for some of you maybe teaching, all of this is a part of this card as well. All right, we're going to break this down into some subcategories here, starting off with those of you that already have a job. I'm just going to go high level. I learned that from last month. I think it helps the pacing of this. So with those of you that are currently employed, quite possibly there's new management, new ownership, or the company could be deciding to shutter, like close the doors, because the tower is either going to be a major change towards the growth side of the equation or moving in a different direction, sort of selling things off or restructuring. There has to be major change, though. You could benefit from this. So if it's growth, restructuring, or mergers, you might be able to benefit. There could be a payoff or a severance. There might also be an opportunity for you to transfer to a different division. I will say, by and large, though, I'm not seeing upgrades in title. So if that's something you're looking for, it might be time to look in a different direction. Assuming that the company's in a good space, what I am seeing here for you is a chance to take a look at what you're getting out of the equation. Is the money enough? Are you getting enough personal growth and development? Because it feels like that's the big pressure point right now. So if you're not going to get it at work, it feels like somewhere in your life you need that feeling of growth and purpose and fulfillment and making a difference. We don't always have to live to work. Sometimes we work to live. But if you aren't getting what you need at work, find it somewhere else. Okay. Like I said, also, it's really important to have that eye contact, to fight for what matters, but to pick your moment wisely. Entrepreneurs, now is the time to change up what you're doing. It feels like when it comes to your accounting in particular, there might be some things that just aren't worth the investment. Maybe deciding to sunset a product or service. Some of you might be looking to actually expand. So with going from the 4 to the 7 of Pentacles and showing this Tower card, this could be saying we need to move into a bigger building, or we need to expand to a different country, city, or province. So I like that. Just don't make any decisions too quickly. One thing that's also coming through for entrepreneurs is a lack of clarity. 7 of Cups can be confusing to a consumer or a third party. And so when it comes to your marketing, your business plan, how you're communicating, clarity is needed, okay? For those that are job seeking, can you find something? Yes, but there's a delay here. So for some of you, there could be someone that's out of office. There might also be someone that's communicating by not communicating. So if it's been several weeks or months since you've heard, consider that a closed chapter. If there's someone that you just recently reached out to and you haven't heard back from, quite possibly they're out of office. So you could try back in a week or so. One thing that I'm seeing here is an opportunity to explore a different or tangential path, something that's like parallel to what you've been doing. Maybe repackaging your skills just a little bit. Also, make sure that you're not taking jobs where you're not getting what you're worth. So the big opportunity this month is to level up, at the very least, in your general sort of like pay or what you're learning at the job. There might be some experience gaps that are causing some challenges. This can be a card where they're looking for a certain age or a certain level, and it may be different from what you're presenting. So in that situation, there's sometimes you just can't control that. That's one of the challenges right now. If you're willing to travel, the 6 of Swords shows that there might be a job if you're willing to move or look outside of where you're going right now. So make sure to kind of like look beyond the present zip code. Students, here's what I see for you. By and large, pretty good. One thing that I'm seeing, though, is that you're overcommitted, and the Tower could represent for some of you, like if you put too much on your plate, something's going to fall off. So I really think the important thing right now is to prioritize academics. Also, when we're looking at the environment here, for those of you that live away from home, there could be some homesickness. You might just want to kind of do a FaceTime or have a connection with the parents just to kind of help with that. But the other thing here is focus and environment matter. So I know when I used to go to school, sometimes I would study in the library or the student union because where I was living, there was too much noise or distraction. So find your zen, find your peace. That's going to help you keep everything together. Something right now is distracting you. It could be your thoughts. It could be your environment. It could be that there's too many activities. So clean up the schedule a little bit, find places where you can focus, and connect with the ones that you love. If you're feeling a little homesick, it's normal. For those that are retired, some of you are looking at possibly selling. You might be living in a city where it's just not worth the cost anymore, especially if you're not working. Some of you want to also take an investment and maybe make it more lucrative. Obviously, with this, you want to do your research and take your time. I also see a wanderlust, a decision or desire to travel a little bit more. Also with this, take your time and plan way ahead, because I do see conservative energy around money and a sort of suggestion not to act too quickly there. I love this final card, though, for retirees, because it's saying maybe some of you are looking at taking on something completely new, learning a new language, learning a new skill, going back to school, teaching, or something of that nature to keep your mind sharp, which is something we have to do when we retire. Okay? Let's move on now to love and relationships. So we have ceremonial, sacred fire, dedication. Some of you want to take it to the next level. I also see a gathering energy with this and a decision to lean into the relationship a little bit more. Beautiful energy. Look at the butterflies as well. So this is a time where you're asking yourself, are we what we thought we are? Is this something more? Is it something less? Really going in and analyzing a little bit. Briefly breaking this down into categories. If you're currently in a partnership, what I see right now is it's very interesting. With the Tower card, it can represent head over heels energy, because typically you see people falling out of the tower head over heels. That's why we have a card here saying slow down and rest and think on it. You may also be feeling like you need a little space. So if I were to take all of this and just kind of put it together, heightened and sometimes overwhelming emotions and a need to get clarity. This is for those that are partnered but maybe not married or maybe not exclusive. I do feel like you can get clarity on this, but you should have a conversation about joint wishes and desires, because this card is very much inquisitive. It's saying, what do you want? Are you ready? This is what I'm looking for. And I do think that the other party is interested or open, but they may not know that you're there yet. And there's a protection here. They might be playing it cool when they really want you to kind of come through and say, hey, I think I want more. So don't be afraid to bring up the conversation. If you're already married, there could be some changes in working environment and or your general sort of financial outlook. So it's important to get on the same page about money. I think that you're both going in a lot of directions, and there could be a long distance component to the relationship, which requires communication. For those of you that are single and looking, can you find someone? Yes. However, right now, it may be more short-lived or short-term, and if it isn't the head over heels stuff, it might just be noise. So I think right now, the best thing that you could do for yourself is to focus on all of the clearing and cleaning things that we talked about, like getting your schedule cleared out, making sure that your finances are where they need to be, looking at your health, getting all of that sorted. And if you are going to meet someone, it actually feels like it's when you're taking a trip or when you're out and about. There are a couple of old relationships in the mix here that might require some healing and attention. I'm not seeing as much in the future. So I think this is a time for personal growth, self-love, clearing and creating a firm foundation so that perhaps in the month ahead, we'll see a little bit more. And with this earth energy right at the center, there may be someone already in the mix right now where you need to clarify if you're in or if you're out. But otherwise, I'm just seeing a general pause right now and clearing and cleaning. I'm not going to just say someone's coming in if I'm not seeing it. But if you do meet with someone, it would be unexpected and it could be a little fast. So make sure everything is together, and then when you're least expecting it, someone could connect with you. Seven of Pentacles, of course, connected to work and extracurricular activities. All right, for those that are single and happy, good for you. For all of the reasons I just mentioned, I really think this is a perfect moment to just sort of like clear out the foundation and create something stronger, firmer, and better for the future. Some areas where you can really focus on growth, learning something new. It's a great time to take a class. Meditation and spiritual development. Looking at things that just don't serve or suit your highest good. So this cleaning house can also be in relationships, like I said, in investments. There's a lot of opportunities to get out the cobwebs and the dust so that you can really use your time, your energy more wisely and make a bigger splash with what you already have. You may decide in this moment in time to travel, to move, to do something different. Please give yourself ample time to plan for all of those things. Again, learning is the key thing that I'm getting if you're single and happy. So dig in, absorb something new, let me know what it is, and I'm excited to see how it factors out for all of you. Moving on to destiny. We have Issa coming through ice, basically, and it says ice, delay, suspension. This is connected to the environment, absolutely. The Hanged Man. This is connected to the Four of Swords. There's a resistance to stop. There's a resistance possibly even to take the next step. Resistance in general. This is the thing that we want to move beyond. There's also this feeling of being sort of stuck. So one thing that a really great friend of mine helped me recalibrate in my head was, he said, be careful of how you speak and how you think. He's a shaman, so I definitely listen when he gives advice. So what I do now, if I'm feeling stuck, I say it in the past tense. I was feeling stuck, but I'm working on a breakthrough. I'm already in the energy of abundance. All I need to do is identify and embrace where it's coming from. That's the way to think into it. He would say, that's the first step, but just really say, I am abundance, and open yourself up. The very first thing that you think is, show me the abundance because I'm already there. So we may feel frozen, we may feel stuck, but it could just be here or here. And what we need to do is kind of take a little ice pick and open up, right? I like to close every single reading with an opportunity for you to ask a silent question. This is your final question, final card. So take a moment, focus on something that you need help on. It can be anything. I'll look at it both from the perspective of yes or no and also as a deeper sort of message. It's pretty good, actually. So if your final question was in the form of a yes or no, this is yes. It's good to move forward. Let's give it a little bit more nuance. King of Pentacles actually is a beautiful match to this. But unlike the Queen of Pentacles, which was reversed, he's in the upright position. So what we're seeing right now is an ability to land on your feet, even if, especially if, you're in the middle of a really tricky situation. And what we see here is this king or stag is keeping his mind on the goal, the money, the opportunity, the expansion. And by continually staying in that affirmative, abundant energy, which we were just talking about a little bit, like my shaman friend's advice, you are starting to surround yourself. It's also bringing in this beautiful auric field here. My aura is magnetic to golden opportunities. All of these little coins actually are coming through, and it matches up nicely with this King of Pentacles. So sometimes you simply need to get into the energy of believing in order to see, manifest, and identify all of that which your heart and your head wants. So just believe it. Whatever it is that you want, it's here. It's happening. This is just a matter of catching up to it. The door is opening up for you if you have the patience and the wherewithal to see it. And one of the ways that you can do that, if we kind of like connect to some of these messages today, is by taking time to slow down. Taking time before making a major decision. Giving yourself an opportunity to dream and ask questions along the way. Once you know where you want to go, remember, it doesn't have to happen overnight. It's one step at a time. Give to yourself in the way that you've given to others. These are some of the keys that you can use in order to get into that energy of the King of Pentacles. Okay? That was an exciting reading. I think this is a really nice way to kick off the second month of this year. Keep me posted in the comments below and let me know how this resonates with you. To that end, if you haven't already subscribed, please do that. Then hit the thumbs up as well, and you can opt into notifications so you never miss out on a future video. You can also show some support through PayPal if you don't do a lot of sort of work here on YouTube. You can find that link on my website. Also on my website, you can find links to all social media platforms. Basically, it's my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, no extra punctuation, spaces, or special characters. If you're also in doubt, you can just go to the main channel page here on YouTube. All the official links, I think there's 13 total. They're all listed there. You can also give back through super stickers and also memberships right here on YouTube. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. That really makes a difference. It helps me buy the cards, keep the equipment up to date, and basically do this for my full-time job. So thank you for helping me out. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this. And I believe that is everything. So why don't we give Apollo a nice little pat on the head, and then we'll wrap up for today. Hey, buddy. Thanks for your patience. I appreciate you too. Yes, I do. Good boy. All right, everybody. Again, I hope you're having a great month. Please keep me posted in the progress below. I'll see you on all the weekly, daily, and monthly videos on the main channel page. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.